to the On Par podcast. I'm your host, Drew D. Alberto, from the beautiful Winners Award Group showroom. Thank you to our sponsors, Winners Award Group. And I'm here with Matt Lenihan from Palm Beach State College today.
Yes, thank you for having me, Drew.
I appreciate you coming back to the showroom today. We didn't get a chance when we did our one-on-one to shoot a podcast, so... after a couple of everybody got sick and we both had to reschedule and you had some travel, here we are. So thanks for coming back. We appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. This was going to happen one way or the other.
We actually met through networking. My friend Rachel Sherman invited me to come up to one of your speed networking events at the West Palm Beach Chamber.
Yes.
And we have, I do a lot of business in golf courses in West Palm, but I had mentioned to her that I wanted to increase our corporate business up there.
Got it.
And then all of a sudden, here I am meeting you and a handful of other... I think I met 35 people, and you know what? I tell people all the time, I really like going to golf networking events.
Sure.
And other networking events, not as much anymore, because you don't get to build that real solid relationship without 3 or 4 other meetings.
Exactly.
And that one was an exception for me, because I met probably, I'd say, 5 or 6 people total that I've had some one-on-ones with.
Follow-ups.
One of them I think I went to the driving range with as one of our one-to-ones. So... how has that non-golf networking event helped you?
Sure. With my role, I'm our business community relations director. So a lot of my role, or predominantly all of my role, is getting out there, meeting our external partners, cultivating new partners. And a great way to do that is at networking events where you're going to be, meeting like-minded people in the business arena that might have a connection to the college or might not know anything about the college. And it gives me an opportunity to kind of go through what we're doing, how we might be able to work with them, how we might be able to support them, with talent pipeline, maybe internships, those types of things. So, these networking events, whether it be chambers, economic development, or anything beyond that, Rotary clubs, whatever, I always try to take advantage of that as best as I can, just to get the name and the word out and build awareness of what we're doing at the school.
And what are you doing at the school?
Sure, so we're doing a lot of different things. Really quickly,
What's the coolest thing you're working on right now?
Sure, so I would definitely say, and we'll keep it in the golf arena here, is our relationship with an organization called Tomorrow Sports, where they're building a golf league. It's a virtual golf league up at our Palm Beach Gardens campus, right near the PGA or old PGA headquarters. So it's going to be built on our campus up in Gardens. It is going to be a virtual golf league, which is endorsed by Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy.
I've heard of those guys before.
Yeah, exactly. So Tiger and Rory are kind of the lead behind it, but this is a startup organization that picked our campus and our site to build this, and it's a private-public partnership, which is a really cool thing for the college. And the really neat thing about it is, the way they've worked with us while they're building this facility. There's going to be a lot of technology integrated into what they're doing. They took on some of our students. They agreed to hire them as interns, and actually 2 of our students are now full-time employees with this organization. So it's good for the college. It's a great. It's starting in January. We're super excited for it to kick off and kind of see where it goes from there.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that with us, and that's exciting.
Yeah.
So let's get back to the staffing side of things
real
quick, because I had a short career, under 10 years in the staffing and recruiting world, and now 75% of my clients are small to middle market businesses. Right. So it's a complaint that I hear constantly. Right. Maybe not in corporate, because I've been out of corporate for 12 years and self-employed for a long time. But in the small to middle market businesses, which is our target clientele, in addition to the golf courses, the complaint is the same, right? 1 out of 20 of these people that are coming out of college right now are hireable in their minds. And I want to get your take on that, because, every college is different and every market is a little bit different, but universally it seems like a constant, this is the biggest headache I've got in my business. I'll give you a quick example before you answer. My 15-year-old son got a job instantly at one of our t-shirt printers because they were literally dying to have somebody work one of the machines as they grew. Right. They needed another pair of hands. He's 15 years young. He, basically walked in there and, I overheard the interview, but
right.
I wanted him to kind of
Sure.
do it on his own. And, he got hired instantly. He's doing,
good.
3 days a week.
That's awesome.
8-hour days. He's doing
right.
his thing over there.
He's getting a taste.
And, I want him to be one of those 20, and I
right.
want my daughter to
Absolutely.
be one of those 20 that a company says, you know what, this is a person we want on our team.
Absolutely. And
so give me your,
sure.
No, you're dealing with the companies and the students.
It's a really good question. It's a really good thought. So we're primarily a 2-year college.
All right.
So our degrees are either an AA, where students are going to do 2 years and then they'll likely transfer to a 4-year school, or they're doing a 2-year AS program, which is a 2-year program where we're preparing them to leave here and go to work immediately after that. Now we do have bachelor's programs too. We do have certificate programs, but primarily we're offering that 2-year degree. And small businesses, medium-sized businesses, we serve those businesses in Palm Beach County. That's a big part of
target.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the 1 in 20, I hear you, and we need to do that's been a focus of what we're looking at right now, preparing students, building it into them. Hey, these are the things you need to do while you're here in order to prepare yourself to be ready to go enter the workforce.
Yeah.
Because that gap that we're seeing right now, where they might not be as employable as an employer will like, we need to do a better job as a college and education to make sure we're preparing them more for that. Now, what does that mean? Are they working with the Career Center? Are they getting an internship? Do we have relationships with companies that offer internships? And that's a big part of my job, is to make sure that those are available to our students. What are we doing, from a resource standpoint, to make sure our students are prepared to enter an interview, right? Like, do they have a resume that's up to date? Is the resume professional? Are they professional? Do they know how to dress? So those are things.
Shake hands, look them in the eye,
exactly.
Smile.
Little things,
it
soft
seems
skills,
like a lot of those things
right.
are not getting taught at home.
Sure.
I mean, I was taught them,
right.
But I'm 42
right.
now, right?
Right.
You and I are
41,
in the same
yeah.
wheelhouse, and I was taught those things, but I wasn't taught those things in school or college.
Right.
I was taught those things by my dad primarily, some by my mom, but my dad primarily, who had a 28-year corporate career. So I got to learn those things, but what's your thinking while we're on the subject? What's your thinking of tweaking education even before high school, before college and high school?
Yeah.
And I'm a big Robert Kiyosaki fan.
Okay.
Rich Dad Poor Dad's one of my favorite books. And Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which people that I respect tell me that's the #1 book that I should read in my life.
Okay.
But that was never shown to me in high. Now, Rich Dad Poor Dad was shown to me in high school by my uncle, but not by the school. So, what do you think, as in a guy in business development and education? What are your thoughts on? Maybe we should start changing things and reading different books, and because I mean I got a degree from Indiana University, the #1 business school in the country at the time, and I got my MBA at University of Phoenix primarily because the bank that I was working for paid for it at the time.
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
And I look at it and go, did I really need those degrees? Did I really need that type of education, or would I have been better off learning about money and real estate and finance and so how do you guys tackle that? Because that's a huge issue and nobody seems to talk about it.
Right, no, you're right. And, for us, I think we're trying to adjust as best as we can, because we hear that and we get that feedback. Education's not a one-size-fits-all solution. There's different tracks for everybody. Yeah. Like you had mentioned, in high school, it's important for students to be exposed, even middle school, to be exposed to what they like to do. Are they a hands-on person? Are they more a theoretical person? Leveraging and harnessing what it is they like to do. And I think high schools are even doing a better job with career academies, where they're more focused on what the skill is the student likes to do, whether it be more hey, they want to be an engineer, they want to work on cars, they want to build something, they want to be in construction. When I was back in high school, it was pretty much back in the early 2000s, not late 90s, it was like, hey, all of the workshop stuff, that was kind of thrown out the door. And we were being funneled into kind of that 4-year college, go to school, get your degree. I think finally it's been recognized a little bit, and especially with all of our workforce programs that we have now. We are really doing, I think we're doing a nice job, putting student, whether it be, electrical programs, HVAC, those are jobs that are always going to be there. They're stable, they're long careers, they're good careers. And it's not necessarily, hey, you have to go to Indiana University, you have to go to, another four-year college that's a recognizable name for you to be a successful, person.
No, and I mean, look, we need people that are going to do the plumbing and the electrical and the HVAC, especially here in South Florida where our ACs are running 24/7, 355 days a year. There's 10 cold days a year here, if we're lucky. And I actually have another guest coming on from ABC Institute in Broward. Danny Sari is going to be on the program in a couple weeks, and that's all that they do all day long is work with the construction companies and help them fill those positions. So I'm going to be asking him, how that applies to the construction world, which I find really interesting because, I know guys that are, they started as a one-man plumbing or electrical or HVAC, and now they got 30 people working for them.
Well, they're entrepreneurs, right?
Well, but they weren't at
first,
right? They went in, they paid their dues,
Totally.
they did their apprenticeship,
right?
And then, it might have taken 5 or 6 or 7 years, but they're only 24, 25 at that point.
Sure, but now they've built their own company.
And now you've started your own company, and you've got clientele, and everybody has an AC.
Right. And that's kind of where I feel like education can be a support of that as well. So if you go, you get that technical skill, whether it be going back to get more of a business-oriented degree, not necessarily a degree, even, the work on the site where you're just learning how to meet people. Networking is kind of crucial to that, right? Yeah. Like, how do you build your business? You got to meet people, whether it's plumbing, HVAC, or it's
play
sales,
golf with them, and build the relationship.
Exactly. Hey, everything revolves around golf. That's another skill. Hey, it's important to have. I wish I were better at it.
I wish I started 30 years before I did, because I didn't pick up a club till 36. So I'm with you.
But everything is networking. It's definitely always understanding. It's always good to introduce yourself to somebody. I wanted to circle back to the events and stuff.
Yeah.
The importance of networking, going to these types of events. Someone told me, and I've been kind of saying this now, if you're new to networking and you're maybe a student, if you're going to an event, what I've learned to do is whoever's running the event or whoever the host is, introduce yourself to that person when you walk in. Say, hey, I'm so-and-so from this place. Is there anybody here you would recommend me to meet? And then from there, you're getting a warm lead.
It's a smart tip, because the person that's running the event knows 75% of the people there.
Exactly.
And 25% of them well enough to say, hey, you know what, you guys might hit it off or have synergy.
But your business is similar to kind of what they're doing. I think it would be cool if you were to meet this person. And they can kind of do the, okay, I know this person, that might not be a great fit, but I know this person will be. So you're kind of even saving yourself some time or effort. From your networking standpoint, because time is important too. And
equally important, if not more important, ask that person how you might be able to help them.
100%.
Right? Because if it's not I'm just here to take, I'm a big fan of The Go-Giver.
Of course.
And I'm sure you've read it. Of course. If you haven't read that book, you should read it, but The Go-Giver, you give. And Rich Dad, Poor Dad talks about it too. But, the more you give, the better it comes back in karma is real. So.
And that's what I like about my job is, at the college, in terms of my relationship with, local organizations, businesses, it allows us to really, build kind of a customized approach to how we're going to help them with their workforce needs, because it's such a crucial component of any business is, hey, how are we going to get talented people? Are talented people staying in this area? How do we build our workforce, especially, if you have people retiring? Who are the next generation of students or people that are going to fill these roles and have successful careers?
Yeah, it's such a dynamic, especially the past 5 years. A corporate environment's been so dynamic and hard to understand, even for economists. That pay attention to that stuff all day, every day. It seems like they're kind of just throwing darts at a dartboard.
Right.
So having a skill that is usable in a recession could be equally important.
That's an equalizer for sure.
Yeah, so it's really and of course you have to adapt
100%.
as you go. So
lifelong learners too. You're always learning something new.
Yeah, and then you guys just had a golf tournament up there recently as well, a charity golf tournament that was through the chamber, or that was through Palm Beach?
So we have a foundation that runs a golf tournament every year.
Okay.
we obviously invite all of our business partners. It's actually a pretty neat event.
Okay.
It's once a year. It's in October. We can certainly share that information.
Yeah. Always the same course? So you move it around? Or?
So it was at PGA the last 2 years. I believe it is going to be at a new course this year. That's right. I forget off the top of my head.
That's okay.
Course it is.
No problem.
But yeah, I know we've done it recently at the PGA at the Bear Trap. Yeah, it's going to be at a new course this year. I can certainly share those details as we know more.
Yeah, just send me the link and we can put it up on our site and our social media for you and see. And, maybe we'll get involved as well.
Sure.
So, not a problem at all. And what's special about your golf tournament? Because we have, golf tournaments every week, it seems.
No, I know. Yeah.
So, what sets you... I mean, obviously, a really beautiful course is a start.
The delivery of the tournament, kind of the hands-on, the white glove service that you're getting there, it's really just the relationship aspect of the people that are there, the support that they have for the college, the belief they have in our mission in terms of what we're doing, serving populations that are not, a lot of first generation and college students. People have, like I said, the first person to graduate from college and their families. That's a big component of what the mission of the college is. And really at the golf tournament, you see a lot of that kind of enthusiasm and that happiness for what the mission of the college actually is. And that comes out with, the people that run the tournament, our foundation that's put it on for a long time. And it doesn't help we have a lot of cool gifts that we give away. It's a lot of camaraderie. People have been doing this forever. The college has been around for 90 years. So, it's always something, it's a big event that people look forward to every year. And just the production of it, it's really, it goes off flawlessly, and people just really have a good time. It's cool to see people kind of relax and have a nice day out there and support the school.
And what are we looking at for sponsorship and for a foursome, and like what's the... I know it's a big number, but give the people the sticker shock now. Let's go.
Might have to cut this out.
Okay. If we have to cut it out,
I'm not sure.
We'll just send you the link. Don't worry about it. That'll answer all the questions. So, high-end swag, which we're very passionate about here at Winners Award Group. Nice trophies and
last year we got a driver. I know that.
And a really amazing experience.
Exactly.
All right, cool. So the details will be out on that as well. Then.
Yeah.
So. What other things have worked for you business-wise, or what other things have you learned from mentors that you can share or continue to share with your students and our audience?
Right. There's never an opportunity that you should really, always, if you're invited to something, make it happen to get there. You can always meet somebody new. You never know who you're going to run into. You never know who you're going to meet. Everything's a networking opportunity. That's kind of how I look at everything now. I was fairly new to this area. I didn't know anybody until I came here 2 years ago. What I did, when I started the job, we're a big school. I had the first 3-4 months, I basically put together a plan for myself where I networked internally. I met with all of our deans. I met with all of the provosts. I met with all the faculty chairs, kind of the head of each program department. Got to know them a little bit on a personal level. So then I was going to go out in the actual business community. There was a belief and trust in me from the internal side that I was going to be doing the right things for the program.
Yeah.
Building awareness at the right level. Because at the end of the day, again, we're trying to help the school build enrollment. We're trying to grow these programs. But in order for me to really be able to do that correctly, I had to meet everybody and build trust internally first. And I think that's something, people may overlook sometimes when they're starting a new place or starting in their careers. Building that internal trust, getting wins internally before you go external was huge for me.
Okay. And then let's swing back to the college thing again, because I find this stuff really interesting. My mom is actually a brace advisor at a high school.
Okay.
And for those of you that don't know what a brace advisor, I don't know what the acronym is. I can never remember, but it's the college advisor inside the high school.
Right.
And she loves her job. She loves working with students. Sometimes she likes working with parents, sometimes not.
That could be.
But, she was, when I was growing up, college is the only thing. You gotta go to college, get your 4-year degree.
Right.
My grandparents did not graduate from college. They fought in World War II instead.
Same here.
My grandfathers, I should say.
Yeah.
And then my dad was the first in the family to go to college.
Right.
He became a lawyer. He did corporate law for 28 years.
Sure.
And, that was the, hey, look, you're going to get a 4-year degree.
100%.
And then they told me, don't join the military because they fought in World War II and they saw the bad stuff. So, she's finally starting to come around and think, okay, you know what, college isn't for everybody. You don't want to go there for 2 years, rack up a ton of debt, and then start your career 20 years young and in debt with no degree. So you also, if you want to go into a trade like you were talking about, it seems like Palm Beach State could be a really good option.
Absolutely.
For people in Palm Beach that want to be in Palm Beach, especially with all your contacts in the community.
Right, and our college from a affordability standpoint, it's extremely competitive. There's a lot of resources out there to help offset costs.
Okay.
And like you mentioned,
scholarships,
exactly.
Grants from the government.
Grants, tuition assistance.
Yep.
So when you kind of factor all those things in, the out-of-pocket expenses are going to be pretty minimal, which is a great solution. And in terms of the faculty that we have, the adjunct faculty, the experience that they have in real-world business experiences or whatever program they're working in, it's second to none, and it compares to any four-year institution, in my opinion, as well.
And I struggle with what to tell my kids. I shared with you my kids are 15 and 9, boy and a girl, and I look at them and go, man, they're like sales and business development written all over them. They both got my personality. And I look at them and go, maybe go get a good sales job right out of high school and do the AA thing at your own pace. So I'm glad that I know you now, because I can present intelligently now. And then call you.
Well, that's
and say, hey, look, you know what? Nick he's 15 now. He's going into his sophomore year. Don't need to talk about Tessa yet, because she's still 9. But,
except there's no one size fits all.
Well, and here's another selfish question. He's in the Cambridge program at Fort Lauderdale High.
Okay.
And apparently he's getting a ton of college credits, more
enrollment,
than my brain can absorb right now.
They didn't have that when I was
And I think, no, me neither. And I think his mom had said, and we've been divorced a long time, but his mom had said at one point that he's going to almost have an AA by the time he's done with high school.
So we had someone recently graduate in May that graduated college with an AA before they even graduated high school.
Yeah.
Just because of the timing. So they walked at our graduation in May.
And then
they
the
had their
high school graduation.
a few weeks later.
Okay.
So dual enrollment, if you're not taking advantage of it, parents, students, definitely take a look at it.
Yeah.
Because it gives you college credits. It gives you a taste of being in a college, college class.
Look, I'm a year older than you. We had it in South Florida.
Yeah, in New York we didn't have it.
But
we had AP.
But I wound up with like 9 credits. Not 60. Is that the number, 60 to get an AA, or 64 or whatever?
Credits, depending on the program.
I didn't have 60 credits. I had 9. I had 3 classes.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't anything. And then I think I took a couple classes over the summer, and maybe I had a semester's worth before I started college. But now it's complicated from what I understood of it. But if you figure it out, you can almost, like you said, you just had somebody do it, graduate from your school, and then graduate from high school a couple weeks later. So give us how that works. And none of them have read Think and Grow Rich or Rich Dad Poor Dad. But
no, they've... No, it's a great opportunity for students. You can earn college credits while you're still in high school. It can kind of give you a better idea of maybe what it is you want to do once you complete high school. You'll have maybe your core ed credits already taken care of. Again, it will reduce costs for you as well.
Well, your debt might not be $150,000. It might be
$20,000. I definitely don't recommend.
I'm just throwing out random numbers, but it might be $20,000 instead of $150,000, which is much more manageable.
Sure, but even as you had mentioned with your son, if he wanted to enroll at an AA program while he already starts working, we have online classes. We have a lot of adult learners that are doing that. They change careers. Like, okay, hey, I need to earn this degree while I'm working. Sometimes even their employer will pay for it, like you had mentioned too. That's a great opportunity. Again, the days of, I feel like, when I was graduating high school, hey, okay, I'm going away for 4 years, and we're gonna do our own thing at my own pace and kind of just figure it out. That's definitely changed a little bit, because again, ultimately the goal is to prepare yourself to enter the workforce. and gaining those necessary skills. I will say Palm Beach State College, I think, does a great job of aligning themselves with all the industry sectors that are around here and beyond to prepare students.
Is there an age limit that kids could enroll in your college? They have to be in high school, or they have to be 16? Or?
So it's juniors and seniors, or sophomores, I believe, can start with, sophomores can start dual enrollment.
Yeah.
And then sophomore, junior, senior year.
Interesting.
So
and could they take classes in the summer?
I've seen dual enrollment offered in the summer. My last school, we did offer dual enrollment over the summer.
We didn't have that option back 20 whatever years ago.
But yeah, I believe that's something that is being offered now. So again, there's a lot of different opportunities for students to earn credits while they're still in high school to reduce costs and kind of figure it out what it is they want to pursue.
That's really cool. Well, we got a couple minutes left.
Okay.
Let's end on a golf story.
Sure.
Tell me your golf story.
What?
I promised that I would be asking you to tell stories.
Okay, so
it could be a highlight of you on golf course. It could be a highlight of a relationship you built on the golf course. And then the magic always happens on the 19th hole. So you tell me. You tell me, Matt.
So I'm not a great golfer. I'll be.
That doesn't matter. None of us are, except Sean, my co-host.
So I will say something. When I was out with a group of guys, this is kind of like a low light story. So I'll give you that.
Oh, all right. I like that too. Let's go.
So my father-in-law is a great guy. We had just moved to Florida, so obviously moving to Florida, what does that entail? Oh, you're going to play a lot of golf, right? So
I can't leave here.
Exactly. So anyways, I found a group of guys. They invited me out. I said, sure. And recently my father-in-law bought me some new clubs, including a new driver. So I hadn't really used it yet. But I was like, let me pull this out on the first tee. I literally hadn't used it yet. So I'm lining up to take my tee shot, right? Get set. I'm like, this is a lefty club. And I didn't really know these guys either. They're looking at me like, who is this idiot? So sure enough, I did have my old clubs on me, or my old driver on me. So I was like, yeah, give me a couple minutes here.
So only the driver was a lefty club,
only the driver
whole set?
No, the driver was a lefty.
Okay, all right. The whole set would have been much more challenging.
No, it was only the driver. So, but again, from a relationship standpoint, on a more serious note, my old boss at my last school I worked with, the relationship that I built with him was unbelievable. That's how we really got to know each other. That's how we got to trust each other. He told me so much. So he had a previous career in the business world, where then he transitioned to working in higher ed as more of like kind of a gate into retirement. But the lessons I learned from him on that course, the tips that he had, the business owners that he had worked with, everybody kind of puts the pants on the same way during the day. Just kind of learning how to relax and how to talk to people was such an important lesson I learned from him. That I've taken with me, since. So.
No, that's a great point, and I would argue that networking on the golf course makes you a better networker off the golf course.
100%. And the golf, just sitting in the cart, shooting the breeze with somebody that you haven't met before, over golf, smoking a cigar, whatever it have you. Those are the things, male, female, encourage you to take advantage of.
I got one last question that's not golf or business. I recently got into pickleball. I think I might have mentioned to you. I play with my dad to start because he doesn't want to go play golf in this hot weather.
Right.
So he'll play,
I believe it's banned by the Geneva Convention.
He'll play either indoor pickleball or we'll go really early or at dusk.
Right.
And then he's not sweating to death.
Right.
Me, I'll go play golf. I don't care. It's 105 degrees with the heat index. I'm young in my mind.
Right. Same here.
So
when I play basketball, that's what happens now.
There you go.
My brain and my body.
Basketball teams are another. That's for the next podcast.
Okay.
But how big has pickleball become at your college?
So we don't have it at the college. I will just say in the community I live in, it's massive. That's an interesting point though. I know we're doing esports has become big at the college.
All right.
That's something they're implementing. But again, pickleball, that's an interesting point. From a student club standpoint, I think that would be a cool thing to do. We do have tennis courts on site. I'm going to take that up with my athletic director.
Just make sure I get my royalty checks and we'll be good. But, I'm asking because, it seems like they're popping up everywhere.
They are. It's incredible.
I've met a couple people through playing pickleball that had become friends, that had become clients. I wouldn't put it up there with networking on the golf course.
Sure.
But it's been a pleasant surprise that, you know, it turned into some good relationships and some business.
Right.
And, you know, I was out there at 6 a.m. on Saturday and 6 a.m. on Sunday.
There you go.
Trying to, and you know, I'm getting some exercise.
Right.
And I'm playing one-on-one mostly, so
Okay.
I'm not standing at the net. I'm moving.
Yeah, doubles is a, I don't know if I have the patience to play doubles.
You were going to say doubles is for chronologically gifted people.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm not putting words in this guy's mouth. So, no, and that's kind of the reason I ask. It seems like it's kind of taking over.
Right.
And I've had people say no to golf recently.
Right.
That they're like,
well, what do you
I
think?
can't, I'm playing pickleball.
What's your take on pickleball?
I love one-on-one.
Okay.
I had a great time playing one. Doubles, you know, I think I need to go take a class and learn how to move with a teammate. And then I could have fun with doubles. But I get there at 6 a.m. because I know the sun's coming up at 7:30 and I want to get out of there and go home and do whatever I got to do with my family when they wake up finally.
Right.
So that doesn't bother me because I'm an early riser. My wife thinks I'm a maniac. But I love it. I mean, I had a great time. I'm sweating. I'm taking an ice cold shower like I just got off the golf course.
I don't think it's a fad. I think it's here to stay.
I think you're right.
And I have a racket. My wife bought a racket. We've kind of touched the surface with it. We haven't become pickleball fanatics just yet, but as we age gracefully, it could be something that becomes.
And the reason why I can get away with talking about it on a golf and business podcast is because all of these private country clubs took half their tennis courts
and
converted them into pickleball courts,
right?
Because the demand is there for it, right? They wouldn't do it if their members didn't say, "Hey, look, we're paying you tens of thousands of dollars. We want pickleball courts."
And I was saying, Flo, as a guy that's lost some athleticism over the years, I still like to play basketball every so often. But the indoor facility in Boca, it's the Boca Fieldhouse. You know, you try to play pickup basketball there now. It's just pickleball now. And that's where the demand is. So,
and I love that, you know, younger kids are playing this because they're not on their phone, right? Like
that too.
When we do stuff with the first tee of Broward, the saying is green time is better than screen time.
100%.
And I would put that up for anything you're doing.
I'm just as guilty of the screen time too, unfortunately.
We all are guilty of the screen time. I don't care, you know, how good a parent you are.
Right.
You know, the screen time has taken over, and you got to rip the phone out of the kid's hand to have them not on it. I get that, and I mean we can get distracted by it ourselves, right? So
100%.
But you know, same thing. If you're playing pickleball or basketball or tennis or any of these things, you know, I think I'm not really big on the NFL anymore because I like defense and they don't play that. But the NFL does that play 60 thing where they encourage kids to play for an hour a day. Yeah. And look, an hour a day is better than zero. Nothing. We used to play from 2:30 when we got home till it was dinner time.
And then summertime, forget it.
And summertime, it was a 12-hour free-for-all.
We were playing manhunt outside, racing.
My daughter wasn't feeling good. I told her, go outside, get some fresh air, get some sunlight, like... You know, don't sit in your room on your phone. You're not going to feel better that way. So, if pickleball will get her outside, let's go.
In terms of relationships, too. Face-to-face interaction there's nothing that's ever going to supplant that. So
no, I wholeheartedly agree. Forget Zoom. We're done with that. Thank goodness. Zoom is now for doing stuff with people in other states.
Exactly. If you have an opportunity, and that's another thing I'll kind of end it on. If you have an opportunity to meet somebody in person and they give you the option between that or virtual, I always take the in-person. Because it's a different experience. Completely.
Yeah, that's a perfect ending note for this podcast today. So thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
And we'll catch you next week on the On Par Podcast.
Thanks, Drew.